Hi, my name is Zane Prater, and in my masterclass today, I'll be sharing with you the 5 simple shifts to starting 10 to 20 plus additional new patients every month, earning $360,000 or more every year, and never having to worry about starting enough new patients again. Now, I know many presentations take a long time to get going, and I won't do that. I want to respect your time and mine, so let's get straight into the good stuff. First, let's talk about who this is for. This is for anyone who owns an orthodontic practice. So if you're seeing your new patient starts declining, or you just want a lot more patients, or your costs are going up and your profits are going down, or you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or burned out, and you want a sustainable, reliable, simple way to add at least 10 to 20 plus new patients every month while raising your monthly revenue by $30,000 or more, then this is for you, whether you've been fed up or struggling for months or even years. So here's what we're going to cover in about the next 45 minutes. I'll show you how to turn your practice into a multiple 6 figure monthly income, even if that sounds like a ridiculous number right now. How to add 10 to 20 plus new patients every month, quickly and easily, without spending thousands on advertising. We're going to talk about how to command premium treatment fees, stop selling your treatments or even your time for anything less than you truly deserve, and how to only have patients who are happy to finally pay you what you're worth, even if that's $8,000, $9,000, or even $10,000 per treatment. And I'll show you how to leverage your time so you can work with more patients while giving them world class results while making more money than ever, virtually eliminating your stress and overwhelm. How to streamline your practice to eliminate all the inefficient, unnecessary things you're doing now and win back at least a day a week for yourself while your revenue continues to grow. And how to do all this without begging dentists for referrals, stressing about social media, or any of the marketing stuff you really don't want to do. So here's my promise to you. If you stick with me, I'm going to walk you through a step by step strategy to 10, 20, even 30 additional new patients every month and an extra $360,000 or more per year. And that's being conservative. And again, I know that if you're just trying to keep your head above water, this may seem like a crazy number right now. Or even if you're doing pretty well, but you want to take your practice to the next level. I promise you that this is very, very doable. I did it in my own practice, and I've helped numerous others scale their practices to 6 figures and multiple 6 figures every month with the exact same strategies I'll show you here today. So I invite you to stretch your limits of what you think is possible, and let's dive in. So before we get into all the great how-tos, I want to check in with you to see if any of these sound like you. Do you have some months where cash just pours into your business, but you can't seem to maintain it? Do you start every month wondering where your new patients and income will come from? Do you secretly know your work is worth more than you're charging now, but you're afraid to raise your prices, worrying no one will pay them? Do you see other practices making the kind of income you want, but you have no idea how they're doing it? Are you working way too hard in your practice, working too many hours, feeling like you have to direct and manage everything, ultimately burning yourself out? Do you feel like all the different marketing strategies coming at you from all directions are overwhelming and you're not sure which to choose and what will work? Do you feel like corporate dental puppy mills and general dentists doing subpar orthodontics and mail order aligners and such are a threat to your business? Ultimately, do you feel like your practice just has a hold over your life and there's no way out of it? Well, listen, if any of that sounds like you, then I have some really good news because none of those things, believe it or not, are the real problem. The real problem is you haven't made what I call the shifts. And we're going to talk about exactly what those shifts are in just a moment. But for now, know this. Once you make them, you'll have complete control over the patients you choose to treat, how to serve them, and the fees you'll command. You'll easily start 10 to 20 plus new patients every month while doing a lot less work. You'll realize that the invisible ceiling on your revenue was never even there to begin with, and you'll push through to making multiple 6 figures faster than you ever thought possible. And you'll jump out of bed bursting with energy and excitement, finally having the time to spend with your family and friends. You can take time to get into the shape you want, take the vacations you've dreamed of without worrying about money, or do that something, something special for yourself and loved ones that you keep putting off. You'll walk into your practice with confidence and power, knowing that other people see you as the authority and wonder how they can be like you. And you'll do all this while tapping back into the joy you first had when you started. So, quickly, let me introduce myself and briefly tell you who I am and why you should listen to me. As the owner of a successful orthodontic practice for over 10 years, I started with my initial purchase of a small, underperforming practice making $180,000 per year. And through a lot of trial and error and figuring things out the hard way, I grew it to over $1 million in the first year, collected an average of $1.3 million gross per year with a 50.3% overhead, netting approximately $650,000 per year for the next 10 years on average, grossing over $13 million. I've also been asked to consult for numerous businesses, mastering the key components of success and how to implement them as effectively and efficiently as possible, specifically with orthodontic practices. I've helped many businesses scale to multiple six figures per year that are now working virtually on autopilot by implementing my key practice structure, systems of efficiency, delegation, and empowerment, while having the proper mindset through effective mentoring, business coaching, and execution. I'm a certified business development consultant specializing in helping orthodontic practice owners reduce stress and jumpstart their practices quickly, creating some of the fastest growth percentages in the industry. So, if that's what you're looking to do, then you're definitely in the right place. And also, I'm a proud U.S. Air Force veteran serving honorably for over 11 years, mastering invaluable management and leadership skills in the Gulf War and around the world. Now, let me quickly tell you how I discovered these five shifts and walk you through them. I've been doing this for quite a while now, and in my own practice, it took me about 14 months to get to $1.3 million. And over the years, I've been asked to share what I've learned and help many practices grow to multiple six figures, some from 500K to over $3.5 million per year, as well as startup practices going from $0 to over $1 million in the first year. And so I have a lot of opportunities to see what makes some practices succeed and what others fail. I've seen them get loans, build beautiful offices, and ultimately just collapse under the overwhelming weight of just wanting to treat patients and do what they love, but having no idea what to do in business. And they got buried in debt and overwhelm, couldn't get patients, and hated coming to work. Well, at the same time, I saw a handful that were really crushing it and had what I like to call the big three. They had the income they wanted, some making 1 million, some 2 million, some well over 3 million. They had the lifestyle they wanted, where they had tremendous freedom to do what they wanted when they wanted. And they also had the impact because the work they were doing was actually changing lives. I began to study these practices, and over time, I realized there were five things these superstars were doing that everyone else wasn't. And I began to incorporate these five shifts into my own practice, and my income went through the roof. So I started teaching other orthodontists the same skills, and they were able to achieve incredible results too. So today, I want to pull back the curtain and distill down for you what those top performers are doing that you may not be. So pay very close attention because a lot of what I'm about to share with you is the complete opposite of what you've been taught, as you'll see. So there were five key shifts you must make to achieve effortless patient attraction and turn your practice into a multiple six-figure per month business while you enjoy more freedom, virtually eliminate your stress, and provide better results for your patients while they're more compliant and happy to pay you what you're worth. And I'll walk you through all five of them right now. Okay, let's dive in. The first shift is to operate with total integrity. Now, I definitely know you want to get into the practical stuff of how you get more patients and make more money while having more time and less stress. But listen, there's no point in trying to make your practice better or to even have a practice if you have the wrong mindset. Therefore, it's critical to operate your business with complete integrity. And you can't ultimately be successful without it. It's like building a house. Everything can be perfect, but if you don't have a solid foundation, it will all fall apart. So there's an idea at the center of everything I do in business. It's called the strategy of preeminence. And essentially, what it says is that the strategy of preeminence must be at the heart of everything you do. Now, what does that mean? It means that you need to be the best in your area of mastery and have everything else in your business reflect that. And never push or let patients do anything that isn't in their best interest. To take ultimate responsibility for your patients' results. I know you may be thinking that obviously you want to take good care of your patients and get them great results, but there are a lot of people out there that don't. They're just in it for the quick buck or the upsell. You know what I mean? They're money driven, not results driven. And so I want to point out that everything I'm about to teach you, it just doesn't work if you don't have your patient's best interests at heart at the highest level. So here's something I want you to see. Your practice is like a mirror, and it doesn't matter how good your marketing or anything else in your practice is, because there's just no escaping cause and effect. Your business is constantly reflecting back to you your deepest beliefs and intentions. So if your intention is just to make a quick buck, then believe me, your business is going to reflect that back to you. And it's going to show up by getting you low quality patients that you don't want. Patients won't refer to you, they'll distrust you. You're not going to be able to make a real connection or be able to make a real difference. And over time, people are going to be able to see and sense, that. People are going to know it. And you're going to have a much tougher time growing your practice. But on the other hand, if you decide at this very moment to build your practice on a foundation of integrity, on a foundation of world class results, then that's going to get reflected right back to you. Patients will trust you and they'll understand that you have their best interests at heart. So, look, do you want compliant patients who, pay you what you're worth without hesitation to get those great results? Then take a look at who you are and how fast you pay for great results for the best. Simply put, you'll attract the kind of patients you are. If you're sincere about wanting to get the best results for your patients and to be the best in the world at what you do, then you're going to get patients who are sincere about wanting the best results for themselves. If you're happy to pay on time for great results and you aren't afraid to invest in yourself, then you're going to get patients and attract patients who will feel that way too and will pay on time and aren't afraid to invest in themselves and their loved ones. So, if you want to attract patients who are happy to pay you a premium price for exceptional results, you'd better do the same. So, here's the bottom line. Everything I'm about to show you is built on the foundation of results, on the foundation of integrity. So, we're about to get into some really cool stuff. But I want you to understand that all of this is designed not just to make you the most money, even though that's what's going to do. It's designed to get the best results for your patients while you scale to multiple six figures and create the freedom, happiness, and time you've always dreamed of. So, if you've been taught business strategies that seem overwhelming, confusing, expensive, and ultimately ineffective, then what I'm about to show you will blow your mind. All right. So the second shift is to command premium treatment fees. So the current way of thinking is that you have to compete with everyone around you to have the lowest prices and run your practice with the lowest overhead. And I'll show you why that's a bad idea. Because when you center your marketing message around price or competing with others, you attract patients that treat you like a commodity and are predisposed to distrust and complain, won't be bought into you, and won't be compliant. So you must change your thinking on this. If you want to be a commodity and keep lowering your prices to keep up with corporate dentists and all the GPs doing orthodontics, then you might as well just go work for a corporate practice and approach your life that way. But if you want patients that are happy to pay you what you're worth, and you want to have a thriving private practice living life on your own terms, then you can't treat your practice like a commodity. Now let's talk about what you should do and why it's a good idea. You should command premium treatment fees because they're not only beneficial for you, because you get the patients you want, but most importantly for your patients. Because believe it or not, they'll get much better results and are much more compliant. because they're more invested in their own success when they pay more. So you need to set yourself apart because it's too much stress to compete against everyone else racing to the bottom for the cheapest price. You have to differentiate yourself with superior service and results in your practice and community. It's time to be the doctor who charges what you're worth, to be the doctor who has the best care and offers the best value. And the cost for all of these amazing results and all that you're going to over deliver is only $8 or $9,000 per patient or whatever you know you're worth. Now, I know you're scared. I was scared too. But it's amazing what happened when I got my mind right. When I started believing in myself and charging what I knew I was worth, patients were more than happy to pay. So I know exactly how you feel because I was there too. So if you want to succeed, you have to put yourself in an elite class, in a competition of one, and a category of one. Because if you're the best, the premier, you have no competition. Now, how does that feel inside? Do you feel you're worth it? Do you believe you're worth it? You went to school for a really long time and you got into the top specialty. But unfortunately, there are so many dentists out there giving terrible results because they don't have your skill, your training, your experience, or your integrity. So you have an obligation, a responsibility to take care of all of those patients out there that need you and are getting terrible care. So believe this deep in your core because it's so critical for you to internalize that patients are aching and yearning for someone who will give them world-class care and outstanding results in an efficient, effective way. And they're truly beyond happy to pay any amount for it. It's not the money. They just want to feel they're getting value. And that's the hardcore truth. And so if you don't command premium treatment fees, you're going to work way more than you need to, attracting lower quality patients, give lots of refunds. You won't get as many patient referrals, and your patients won't get the great results you want them to have or could have because they didn't commit to their treatment. The reality is there are only two reasons why you aren't commanding premium treatment fees right now. One, either you think your expertise isn't worth it, or two, you think it is worth it, but you believe that if you charge premium treatment fees, no one will pay them. Now let's address the first problem. The idea that you may think your expertise isn't worth it. You might be saying to yourself, Zane, why would someone pay me premium fees when they can get their treatment from their dentist or some cheap practice down the street or, mail order or buy a Groupon? I have all these competitors. Why me? Why would they pay that much? Let's talk about that right now, because what I want you to emphatically understand is that you are not selling your time and you are not selling your knowledge. What you're selling is the value of the top quality results you deliver. That's what your patients really want. So think about the difference you make in your patients' lives. What's that worth? Seriously, what's that worth? Think about the incredible impact you create in the lives of your patients. It's priceless, right? So why aren't you charging what you're worth? What is the value of a beautiful, healthy smile? What are the benefits to the health and longevity of their teeth, to their overall health? What are the benefits to their confidence, to their future earning potential? What do all the studies say about the promotion levels and employment numbers of people that are more confident and proud of themselves and people that are more visually appealing? They're through the roof, right? And they're prouder of themselves and have greater self-worth. So you must internalize the value of the results you deliver to your patients because they are truly priceless. Also, high prices actually reassure your patients that you are preeminent, the best of the best. When I see someone charging like $3,800, for treatment, and someone else is charging $9,000, who do I think is better? I automatically assume the $9,000 person is. That's just the way people think. So when you charge premium treatment fees, you're actually reassuring your patients that you're the best, that you're preeminent. And as we all know, buying the best feels really, really good. When you buy your dream home or that super cool car you've always wanted, or whenever you purchase the best of something, think about how wonderful that felt. That's what your patients feel also. That's what they want. That's what we all want. Buying the best feels great because it reassures us. So if I'm trying to get into shape or fix my relationship or grow my business or get the smile I've always dreamed of and wanted, or any of these problems that are all really big problems, and if I hire someone that's expensive, and I hire them because I genuinely believe they'll fix my problem and give me the results I want, then I'll feel great about that purchase. And as I said earlier, patients who pay more get better results than patients who don't because they're much more bought in and invested, and they're going to show up committed. That's why practices are having so many problems with these no money down $99 payment plans because there's no buy in. There's no commitment. And patients constantly no show. They don't care if they break their appliances. They don't really even care if they continue with treatment. And they often get terrible results. But when they pay more, they show up very, very differently because they don't want to waste their money. They want results and are willing to do their part to get them. And of course, it's much easier to hit your income goals in $9,000 chunks than in $3,800 chunks. With patients paying little to no money down, fighting you every step of the way, right? So let's do a little math here. If you're charging $3,800 for treatment and you want to get to $100,000 per month, then you need to start more than 26 new patients per month. But when you command $9,000 per treatment, you only need about 12 patients. Also, higher fees position you as the best of the best and align you with the value of the results you deliver. It reassures your patients and makes them feel good about buying. They're going to get better results and you're going to get to your income goals faster with a lot less stress. Now, doesn't that sound like a win for everyone? So, listen, set higher standards and commit to your mastery. Burn your boats and go all in. I promise it will change your life. Now, let me tell you about a client of mine, Dr. Alex, an orthodontist who wasn't charging what his treatment fees were worth and always felt pressure to lower his prices to compete with corporate dental practices and general dentists doing ortho. He tried lowering prices, coupons, price matching, you name it. So I helped Dr. Alex establish himself as the preeminent orthodontist in his area by effectively communicating the value of getting the best results for his patients. Dr. Alex's new patient starts went through the roof, and he gained the reputation as being the best in his area. And his referrals started flooding in from patients, their families, and his community as a whole. His results were so powerful that within the next 14 months, he increased his revenue from $900,000 to over $2 million. Wow. And this is why commanding premium treatment fees is the most effective way to achieve your income goals while working with the most committed, compliant patients happy to pay you what you're worth. So, how do you scale your business without losing your mind? Because this is super important. I know that it's easy to get so fixated on money. You want to get some cash in the door. I get it. I've been there. But it's no good, even if you're making $300,000 per month, to have all that money if you're burned out working 60 to 70-hour weeks. You won't have any kind of freedom at all. And I want you to have that freedom to enjoy the money you're making. And I know you might be thinking, okay, Zane, I'm with you. I agree that I need to raise my treatment fees and get paid what I'm worth for the amazing results I deliver. But if I raise my fees, how do I know if anyone's going to pay them? Maybe you're just starting out, or maybe you've been in business a long time, but you've never charged this before. And you're asking yourself, how do I do this? How do I get people to actually invest in themselves with me at a premium fee and see the value? Well, you use the secret weapon. And that brings us to the third shift. And the secret weapon is my elite practice performance system. And it's the most powerful way to connect with your patients, establish your authority and preeminence, and give them massive value all at the same time. And it does all of this while making you more money than ever, virtually eliminating your stress and overwhelm, while giving you the time you want. Now, let's talk about how you'll get these patients and make the money you want while working a lot less. How do you market yourself? How do you regain your freedom, time, and love for what you do? Well, first, it's important to take a look at the old conventional way you've been taught. And the hard truth is that the traditional ways of getting patients and running a successful practice, they just don't work anymore because of corporate dentistry, mail order aligners, general dentists doing ortho, and how the industry is treating the specialty like a commodity. And that's why it's so critical to position yourself in a category of one, not only for the health of your practice, but for your own sanity and quality of life. Remember why you became an orthodontist. It was to have a great life and give your patients beautiful, healthy smiles, not to be stressed out and disenchanted with the state of the industry. Therefore, using the secret weapon and positioning yourself as the best is the only logical future of the specialty. Unfortunately, the old conventional ways are still being taught, but are ineffective, uncertain, and ultimately unsustainable. Things like hang your shingle and hope new patients will come, traditional doctor's lunches and gift baskets, hoping they refer, hoping in network insurances will send you new patients, conventional, ineffective marketing, price matching and discounts, trying to be competitive with everyone, racing to the bottom for the lowest prices, hoping to stay competitive and ultimately running your business into the ground, cutting overhead and staffing to compete with GPs and corporate practices, traditional staffing and management practices, directing everything, feeling overwhelmed and burnt out, by trying to do it all and not empowering and delegating effectively. Traditional office systems continuing to make all appointments in person without embracing modern technology and giving patients what they want, like virtual or online consultations, appointments, online scheduling, and such. Traditional doctor patient treatment interactions, outdated clinic flow, new patient consults, and outdated diagnostic record processes. Still having a broad service practice trying to boil the ocean and appeal to everyone instead of niching down and setting yourself apart. And if you do all this stuff, maybe someday by some magic, you'll get patients. This is called cross your fingers marketing, the hope and pray methods. It's like throwing a lot of stuff at the wall and hoping something sticks. How many of these strategies have you been taught? These are called cross your fingers, hope and pray methods because you do all that work and then you cross your fingers and hope and pray it works before you can't pay your bills or go out of business or you can't take care of your loved ones the way you really want to. So, does doing things the old way even make sense anymore? You do all this work and somehow, some way, maybe you'll get patients, make money, and somehow make it all work using this antiquated, ineffective old business model. And the reason people keep teaching these overcomplicated strategies is because they want to take your money and keep you busy, knowing it takes way too long to work, if ever. Otherwise, they'd have results like we do. These antiquated strategies are so destructive, inconsistent, and not results driven. And they're unsustainable, expensive, and stressful to do all these things with just the hope that maybe you'll get new patients. It can be so much simpler to get the results you want. So I showed you the old way and how ineffective and outdated it is. Now let me show you the new way, which is really simple. And you don't need a bunch of insurances that don't pay enough. You don't need to buy a lot of gifts. You don't need to price match and offer discounts trying to compete with everyone, do expensive, ineffective marketing, micromanage and direct every aspect of your practice, trying to squeeze out every dollar of savings, cutting staff and overhead, trying to do it all. One great process can replace all of that. The new way is my elite practice performance system. It gets better results for your patients and gives you a lot more freedom and time to do the things you want while reducing your stress and overwhelm. And it's specifically designed to help you with your execution in a real and tangible way by setting yourself apart as the best in your area, commanding premium treatment fees by giving your patients world class care in an effective way, offering the best results and having them be beyond happy to pay any amount for it by giving you the specific how to's in the most streamlined, effective way possible that really works. The new way is my elite practice performance system, and it's the simplest, most effective system out there. You ready? I'll give it to you right here on this one slide. You don't need overcomplicated office systems or expensive marketing programs, and you can eliminate all that with a simple process like this. It starts with developing a market leader mindset, providing world class patient care at every contact point, implementing empowering office systems streamlined and customized for your practice with a results focused approach, an effortless patient attraction that makes you $30,000 plus each month and consistently gives you 10 to 20 plus new patients, and establishes your preeminence, delivers value that knocks your patient's socks off, and builds deep connections with them while you start compliant, motivated patients that are proud you're their doctor and pay you what you're worth so you can stop feeling stressed, burned out, and uncertain. And you can eliminate 90% of the time wasted marketing and inefficient systems you have now and replace them with this because getting your mind right, believing in your value and charging what you're worth, providing world-class service and the best results while delegating and empowering your team does several things. It directly connects the amazing results you deliver to the enormous value you offer, solidifying your belief in what your results are worth, which is internalized by your patients who see the tremendous value they're getting and inspires your team to do things they never imagined by treating your patients like royalty at every level and taking ownership of the success of, quote, their practice. Because when the right people are given and ultimately take ownership of the process and overall results, they soar and the wrong people self eliminate. Then everything starts working smoothly, taking enormous pressure off managing it all, off your shoulders. So, which sounds simpler to you? Trying all these old, outdated, uncertain, cross your fingers, hope and pray methods? Or to develop a market leader mindset, provide world class patient care, implement empowering office systems, and effortless patient attraction that easily make you at least $30,000 more every month? And in fact, this system is the backbone for how I personally grossed $13 million dollars in my own orthodontic practice. And this is also how all the orthodontists I've helped achieve their success, happiness, and freedom as well. Now, let me briefly expand on one small part of step three, empowering office systems, to illustrate, even if you're doing a form of this now, the time saving, stress eliminating power of having streamlined, efficient systems that, when implemented properly through effective delegation and empowerment, will be embraced, owned, and completely managed by your team, taking the stress off of you so you can finally have the work life balance you've dreamed of. Implementing a next visit scheduling treatment plan system dramatically reduces wasted doctor time by teaching and empowering your assistants to implement your treatment plans without needing to tell them what to do each time over and over again. So you can just come over, do a quick check in with your patients, reassure them, and reinforce your connection with them and the great results they're getting, eliminating most of the repetitive, redundant, time wasting work you may be doing now. First, pre plan out your most used treatment plans, which account for approximately 95% of all treatments, eliminating the majority of doctor time spent with each patient, duplicating your efforts. Next, preload them into your practice management software and have them auto populate into the next visit notes of each patient's treatment card so your assistants can easily follow them. Third, empower your assistants to implement your treatment plans automatically at each visit and then have them schedule next visits 8 to 10 weeks out. Implementing this process eliminates 95% of the repetitive, redundant, time wasting, and exhausting work previously required. Now, if you're already doing next visit scheduling, then great. But I was shocked to learn how many orthodontists aren't, and they still treatment plan in the mouth. When this one simple system eliminates massive amounts of wasted doctor time, allowing you to work way less and opening your schedule up tremendously. In some cases, this has eliminated whole days off the doctor's schedule. And 100% of the time, my elite practice performance system has made a massive positive impact in the practices I've worked with. And I'll show you one of those cases now. So, again, another orthodontist client of mine, Dr. J, was doing almost all the work on his patients. And that choice defined the limits of his income, his impact, and his quality of life. He spent way too much time with each patient deciding what direction to take each treatment and explaining that in detail to each assistant over and over again. I helped him see that 95% of all his treatment plans fell into just a few different types. Then I helped him transition to a next visit scheduling system where his treatment plans were preloaded into his practice management software. So at the initial consult, Dr. J gave the treatment coordinator the particular treatment plan identifier, who in turn selected it from a drop down window. And then each step of the treatment plan, it auto populated into the patient chart's next visit notes. Cool, huh? Allowing the assistants to know exactly what to do at each appointment every step of the way and what appointment to schedule next. And because his treatment plans were so dialed in and efficient, he was able to have his assistant schedule patients' next visits 8 to 10 weeks out. This reduced Dr. J's stress and time spent with each patient and increased patient flow so much that his revenue increased by more than $473,000 per year. And he was able to work 1 day less per week and has gained so much extra time in his schedule. So it was so rewarding when Jay called me to tell me how his life had changed and that he took his wife to Paris for her dream vacation and was able to upgrade her ring and renew their vows while they were there. And moments like these are why I love helping people and sharing what I've learned the hard way. So, implementing powerful, result focused office systems like these will allow you to leverage your time and work 1 day less by optimizing your systems to eliminate wasted time and increase your efficiency. Most orthodontists still assume they have to work the traditional schedule and then do admin, business management, and big picture thinking on top of all that. But that just adds up to 60 to 70 stressful hours every week. And they end up being stressed out and a stressed out employee, not an orthodontic practice owner. Instead, if you actively look to only work 3 to 4 days a week, you'll find patients will happily fit into your schedule. And the key is proper mindset, delegation, and empowerment of your team, and implementation of key systems that are streamlined and efficient, while giving your patients the results they want, while creating the enjoyable practice you've always dreamed about and will love to come to. Finally, giving yourself the freedom and income you deserve. You have powerful knowledge and skills to share with the world that took you years in school, training, and experience to learn in order to provide your patients with world class results. Now it's time to share it with them and earn what you're worth. So at this point, we know we have to be operating from total integrity. We know we have to be commanding premium treatment fees. And then we have to be using the secret weapon to set ourselves apart and to command those premium fees. But how are we going to get those new patients? And that brings us to the fourth shift, which is to embrace partner marketing. So when I say the word marketing, what do you think of? Maybe things like Facebook ads, a website, search engine optimization, beat the competition with the lowest prices, or those sort of things. But did you think of the enormous power of partner marketing? Probably not, right? And this is where most practices have their marketing equation inverted, meaning they're focused on patient acquisition first, but delivery of their services at a world class level. Embracing partner marketing and patient results are an afterthought. So keep in mind that conventional wisdom is a recipe for conventional results. If you want success and you want longevity, focusing on your patient's experience and results, establishing yourself as the premier practice and authority in your area, and embracing partner marketing have to precede uh, basic patient acquisition marketing. Otherwise, what happens is your practice will struggle to get sustainable referrals and new patients starting treatment uh, because what your referring doctors and your patients truly want and what works in the long run are results. What's in it for them? So you must determine what marketing is effective and essential. Pinpoint precisely what techniques to implement and will also be complemented by those necessary forms of marketing like SEO, traffic, local ads, etc. Then you need to customize your marketing specifically for your practice. Because most of the time, you only need very basic bootstrapped investments in external forms of marketing. So use these forms of marketing as fuel for the fire, not what kickstarts the fire. So you may have asked yourself, why isn't my traditional marketing approach working as good as I want it to? First, like we discussed, the core part of your strategy must be to provide world class patient care at every patient interaction. Be results focused, having a what's in it for them approach first and foremost. And because you're missing a key part of your strategy, and what's preventing you from getting more new patients is you don't have this part dialed in to attract the right patients and generate the revenue you want. So let's take a look at the missing part. One of the most powerful and often overlooked strategies is the enormous power of partner marketing. So currently most orthodontics focus solely on, SEO and paid advertising along with hoping and praying for referrals. And that's fine. But the truth is, you're leaving a lot of cash on the table and it isn't sustainable in the long run. And incorrectly, orthodontists still see dentists as competition. And that's just not the case. Because what's really exciting is that partnering with your local dentist is an easy way to bring in an extra $30,000, $40,000, even $50,000 per month. And here's why. Because when you implement a what's in it for them, results oriented approach, you're not only offering something invaluable to them, you're making a priceless human connection with them as well. And then it becomes a flourishing, mutually beneficial two-way street. Now, here's a very brief overview of what this setup might look like. You set up a regularly scheduled Zoom call with your dentist, going over their cases together, helping them handle the ones that will be easy and make them shine from a place of total integrity and sincerity. And then have them send you the more challenging cases that will be potential problems for them, which they'll gladly do. So if you want to go it alone and keep seeing your competition as the enemy, cool. But here's how you'll get stuck. Because you'll continue to position yourself in competition with general dentists and corporate practices in an unsustainable and unwinnable race to the bottom to have the cheapest prices. But when you embrace the enormous power of partner marketing, you will organically gain the respect and trust of the dentists in your community and be amazed at how your floodgates will burst open with new patients. And patients referred by their trusted dentists have about a 94% start rate. So, unfortunately, most practices still think they need to invest in patient acquisition marketing, having the lowest prices, etc. But in my experience of having grossed over $13 million building my own practice and helping other orthodontists grow their practices, that just isn't the real problem and why in the long run they won't succeed. So let me show you another client of mine and how well embracing partner marketing worked for her. Dr. Michelle, an orthodontist, was struggling to get patients every month. She was spending thousands of dollars each month that she didn't have on traditional marketing that didn't work. She was offering discounts and coupons, trying to compete with the GPs doing ortho, corporate dental practices, and patients saying it was cheaper online. But she just couldn't stay competitive and survive. So we worked together and I introduced her to the concept of partner marketing. Teaching her the specific approach, I helped her get an influx of new patients ready to start treatment. Within the first week, Dr. Michelle started 5 new patients implementing this marketing approach, generating $40,000 in revenue. And within the first month, she started an additional 22 patients, generating $132,000. After 1 year partnering with only 5 GPs, Dr. Michelle averaged 52 new patient starts per month, generating $312,000 in monthly revenue each of those 12 months. And so Dr. Michelle has averaged $3.7 million for the past 3 years with virtually no additional marketing. And she told me she's happier than ever and decided to hire an associate to handle the huge number of new patients and doesn't stress about money anymore and enjoys her life so much more. And all that was possible because she made the shifts and embraced partner marketing. So the bottom line is that you don't have to implement these shifts, but they're one of the fastest ways to grow your income while working less, get better results for your patients, enjoy what you do, and have time for your loved ones. And all of this is possible if and only if you invest in mentoring. And that brings us to the fifth shift, which is to invest in mentoring. So, in order to get these outcomes, you should invest in an expert, invest in training, invest in mentoring. Because as simple as this is, there are a million ways to mess it up. So, why try to figure it out on your own when someone like me can just hand you the answers? My team and I have helped numerous orthodontists succeed, and we've seen everything you can imagine. So, the reason why everyone should have a business coach, a mentor, is because mentoring brings two things. First, it brings new ideas. So, there are ideas in your head right now that would not have been there if you didn't make time for this masterclass. And second, it brings accountability because the biggest problem most people have is with their execution, with making it real. And so, here's how it works. You have your mindset. Now, your mindset is your beliefs about what's possible, and it's the quality of your ideas. So you have certain beliefs right now about what's possible. You have beliefs about how much you can charge. You have beliefs about how to get the best results for your patients. And then you also have the quality of your ideas, which means, are you following a strategy that actually works? Or are you following a strategy that will take forever, like some of those outdated ideas I told you about? Then your beliefs and your strategy determine what actions you take and what you actually do. And what you do determines the outcomes that you ultimately create for yourself, both in terms of the money you're making, but also in terms of your happiness, your freedom, and the impact you're making. And so, if you want to change your outcome, you have to change your beliefs about what's possible, the strategy you're following, and what you're actually doing. And that's the power of mentoring. So, let me ask you this: how much did you earn last month? How happy are you in your business? If you're not happy with your income, if you're not happy with the patients you're getting or the patients you're not getting, if you're not satisfied with the amount of freedom you have in your practice, then you need a new mindset. You need a new plan. And you need to take intelligent action and have a mentor who's guiding you and holding your hand through the whole process, holding you accountable for doing the work. You need a mentor. And all the top tier companies that want to take their business to the next level invest in mentors, because trying to do it without the proper training and guidance is crazy. I've personally invested at least $200,000 in training and mentoring and programs and courses, and some of them were great and some of them weren't so great. And every single time it was a stretch. Every single time it was a big decision. But I tell you, even the masterminds and programs I've been in that weren't that good, all of them, and I mean all of them, paid off in one way or another. And I got something valuable from them. And now that investment has paid for itself many times over. So the point I'm trying to share with you is, don't go it alone. Building and scaling your practice and trying to figure it out yourself, trying to do it through trial and error, is one of the biggest mistakes and biggest waste of time out there. Can you imagine trying to do ortho without the proper training? That's crazy, right? My point is, there are so many things that are next to impossible to know unless you've successfully built a thriving orthodontic practice and helped others as well. So, having done it myself, I know exactly how to diagnose the issues that are stopping you from bringing in the quantity and quality of new patients that you want. And it's my zone of genius to help you customize a strategy that's going to work specifically for your practice. So, if you want to achieve something great, find someone who's already achieved it and who's already helped other people achieve it, and work with that person. Does that make sense? So don't go it alone. Find the best mentor out there and spend what it takes to work with them. Because deep down, you know that if you could have figured it out on your own by now, you would have. When you're confused about how to do something, sometimes you just need to find the who. Who can help me? And imagine that if by following these 5 shifts, you added, very conservatively, just 5 new patients per month at $6,000 per patient, you would make an extra $30,000 per month, which would be $360,000 extra every year. Now imagine what that would look like in 10 years. an astounding $3.6 million extra. How much could you sell your practice for? How soon could you step away and let others run things for you? What kind of life could you provide for your family and loved ones? So, the best advice I can give you is don't waste your time trying to figure this out on your own. Take the fastest path to success. So, today I promised you how to turn your practice into a multiple six-figure monthly income, even if that sounded like a ridiculous number. How to add 10 to 20 plus new patients each month quickly and easily without spending thousands on advertising. We talked about how to command premium treatment fees, stop selling your treatments or even your time for less than you deserve. And I showed you how to leverage your time so you can work with more patients while giving them world class results and making more money than ever, virtually eliminating your stress and overwhelm. How to streamline your practice to eliminate all the inefficient, unnecessary things you're doing now and win back at least a day a week for yourself while your revenue continues to grow. And how to do all this without begging dentists for referrals, stressing about social media, or any of the marketing stuff you don't want to do. I walked you through the step by step strategy to 10 to 20 plus additional new patients every month and an extra $360,000 plus per year. So, what do you need to win? It's critical to the success of your practice as well as your own sanity to make the 5 shifts. You must operate with total integrity, command premium treatment fees, use the secret weapon, embrace partner marketing, and invest in mentoring, which is your fastest path to success. So now you have a choice. You can either stay stuck with having a practice where you experience feast and famine months, never certain of the income you're bringing in. You can keep struggling with low paying, tire kicking patients who complain, ask for refunds, aren't compliant, and are never happy. Try to make you feel like everything's your fault. And you can keep seeing other people having the success in their practices that you want while you continually struggle with income and wonder if you're going to have to go work at a corporate practice. Or if you're done with all that and you want a predictable, scalable way to start as many patients as you need, if you want to be consistently starting patients at $8, $9, or even $10,000, and if you want to do all that while having the exact lifestyle you dream of, where you can work on a schedule you choose and have all the time you need for your family, then here's what I have for you. My team and I have set aside some time in the next 48 hours to speak with you personally and how you can apply these ideas to your practice starting today. Whatever your biggest challenges are, we've seen it all, and we know how to overcome it. So here's how it works. We'll get on the phone for about 45 minutes and we'll put our heads together. And you can tell me exactly what your income goals are, your freedom goals are, your impact goals are, and we'll come up with a plan to help you get where you want to go. Make sense? And our goal on this call is to give you massive clarity. I want this call to bring you so much clarity that you know exactly what the path forward is for your practice. So you can stop doing all those things that just aren't effective and start doing what actually works. So on our call, we'll work with you to craft a step by step game plan to hit your income goals for this year, whether that's $100,000 per month or $300,000 per month, and for attracting the exact patients you want to treat. We'll get you crystal clear on 3 things. First, on who your ideal patients are, so you can finally start the kind of patients you want, that value you at the highest level, are compliant and happy to pay you what you're worth. Second, on your ideal price, so that you know the perfect fees to charge for the amazing results you offer. And third, the best way to reach your ideal patients and scale your practice by $30,000, $40,000, even $50,000 more every month. So you can finally make the money you want and bring the freedom you want back into your life. And the cost for all of this, absolutely free. But there is a catch. The catch is that it's not for everyone. You must be outstanding at what you do. You must be coachable, open to feedback, and be hardworking. All the doctors I've worked with and case studies I've shared with you have worked their butts off. They persisted through multiple challenges. They invested in their practices and in themselves. They fought through every single obstacle. Now we helped them and we held their hand and guided them every step of the way. But you've got to have grit and tenacity. You have to be coachable and hardworking. And you must hold yourself to the highest standards of professionalism and integrity and truly want to be the best and give world class care and results to your patients. So if that's you, book a session now. So you may be asking yourself, why are we doing this? Well, we do this because we love giving back and helping orthodontic practice owners achieve their goals. And we also know that after we speak about these ideas, you might want our help to transform your practice because that's what we do. And we can discuss it to see if it's a good fit for both of us. And if so, we'll invite you to become a client. And if not, that's fine too. Either way, just doing the call will give you massive clarity and insight into your practice and more clarity than you've ever had in a really long time, if ever. So here's what I want you to do. Click the link underneath this video right now to book your call. Scan the QR code or go to zaneprater.com/apply. Now, when you click the link, you'll be taken to my calendar and you'll see a selection of times there. And I want you to pick a time that works for you. Then you'll be redirected to a very short application form. Please fill that in because it gives me a better idea about you. So I'll be prepared for our call. Then I'm going to call you at the time you chose, and we're going to talk about how we can help you get to multiple six figures per month in your practice. But here's the thing, spaces are really limited, so click the button underneath this video. Lock in your spot now, and let's have that conversation. This could be the conversation that changes your life, that changes your business. So think about your goals and what you're trying to achieve. Would love to help you get there. But you've got to click that button and you've got to book that call. I promise it's going to be the best 45 minutes you've spent working on your business ever. You have everything here you need to succeed. And I really hope this masterclass has been super useful for you. And hopefully you've seen that not only is it possible to achieve these outcomes that you really want, but you can do it even if you have no idea how to command premium treatment fees, turn your practice into a multiple six-figure income, and get compliant patients happy to pay you what you're worth. And just one final time, to book your call, click the link below, scan the QR code, or go to zaneprater.com/apply. Thank you for sharing your valuable time with me. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.